Going over to the political part of the podcast, you have Canadian politician Jagmeet Singh saying Canada should ban Trump from an event, which I did do some research. I thought this might be a rapper. His name is Jagmeet. It sounds like something from like Detroit. It says Jagmeet all up in your grill. We're going to rap about, what do they rap about? Empowering women. That's a joke because the songs are the antithesis of that. Again, this is thanks credited to Libs of TikTok, which she says, quote, Canadian politician Jagmeet Singh says Canada should ban Trump from entering the country. As if they have a choice. Oh, that's funny. Let's hear what he has to say. Or again, maybe he's going to drop a rap, or I believe they call it dropping a beat, I believe.
I also believe we need to ban Donald Trump from attending the G7 summit. Donald Trump should not be welcome here. Why would we invite someone who has threatened our very democracy, our very sovereignty?
A reminder, you disarm your people and force them to do terrible things and debank them.
Why would we invite someone who has threatened our economic well-being? Why would we invite someone who threatens our allies?
For not carrying their own weight?
And threatens the world's stability.
Remember well, I'm trying to think. The last time there's no new wars. Oh yeah, when Trump was in office the first time. There's wars when every other president was in office, at least since I've been alive. The one president that didn't start new wars. Donald J. Trump. The world was a lot stable before, the U.S. kept funding China to make things in labs and destroy the economy.
Why would we allow a convicted criminal into our country?
Lawfare.
Why would we invite someone who has such disdain for multilateral organizations? Instead, what we should do is use the G7 summit as an opportunity to work with our allies on a plan to resist Donald Trump and his dangerous threats to the world. I also believe...
Yeah, what a piece of shit. Yeah. Spoiler alert, Canada is already a joke of a country. I mean, he might as well be... what would Trump say to this? What a loser! You should let me in the G7. Your economy depends on us. Who else is going to buy your stupid maple syrup and beavers? And of course your Dodge Chargers and Hellcats. Who do you think's going to buy them? They don't want those in Mexico. They want them in America. And we buy them from you. You have the Canadian hockey teams that put together the cars, along with the beavers with their tails to knock in the rivets in place. I mean, that might be how the automobile industry works in Canada. I wouldn't know. I've never been there. But yeah, when you look at what businesses, who really is a big contributor to Canadians' economy, it's us and our businesses. I mean, we have many American-based companies that manufacture things over there. I mean, look at GM, the Camaro, which people thought was American muscle. I mean, it was at one point, but I mean, ever since the Transformers movie, that Camaro was made in Canada. The last generation was made in Michigan, but a majority of them, they're made in Canada. Same with the Dodge Challenger, same with the Charger. A lot of vehicles are made there that ironically you think are American muscle, but they're really Canadian muscle, which actually sounds pretty anemic and weak. Now, it's one of those instances where, yeah, U.S. has gotten ripped off for years. Every other country pretty much getting the better end of a stick when it comes to negotiations and tariffs. Yeah, these countries are scared that they might actually carry their own weight. Kind of like how they useless NATO. U.S. was one of the only countries really contributing and meeting the requirements of contributions to defense. Every other country is basically leeching off us. Now, this went moderately viral, got about 350,000 views and 6.2 thousand likes, perhaps not as much as his regular rap video from Jagmeet, which if he doesn't do that in his spare time, that is a lost opportunity. Though he is wearing a suit, so that would be a rare thing for the rap community. Now, one of the first comments comes from Paul Zupa saying, quote, this guy doesn't realize what he's proposing in 198 likes. Libercat Media TM says, quote, Jagmeet Singh is a Canadian Indian Jasmine Crockett, getting 399 likes. Barefoot Pregnant says, quote, Canada needs Trump economic strength, not Trudeau's socialist disaster, getting 70 likes. Fact check, true. Yeah, the audacity of him trying to say, oh yeah, Trump's evil or threat to democracy. Canada, you literally disarmed your people. Your big evil government is so corrupt, it's abhorrent. Justin Trudeau, that piece of crap from allegedly Fidel Castro's bastard of a son, which kind of looks like Castro and has the same dictatorial policies and beliefs. I mean, during the lockdowns, Justin Trudeau said he admired China the most because they could lock down quick because they have no human rights over there. Yeah, Justin Trudeau. One of the biggest, statistically speaking, I'm pretty sure there's a poll that shows he is actually the biggest douchebag on the planet right now, which perhaps is an accolade in and of itself, some might argue. But yeah, in terms of talking to a Canadian, they're taxing the crap out of energy, rising up the cost of living for all the people living there. It's miserable. I feel bad for the people, except there's some good Canadians out there. There's some great people over there, but their government are just so bad. Now, you also have going down more and more. You have I Love American News says Canada has been conquered. They say quite different to what's going on in Ottawa. Anyone waving a Palestinian flag gets help from the police to close roads down, but a couple years ago, they were arresting people for carrying the Canadian flag. And it's an article that says a man was arrested for flying a Canadian flag in Ottawa, which perhaps as a fashion police because the flag is such a rudimentary design with just a couple colors and a maple leaf. Almost looks like something a kid would design in art school in kindergarten. But no, it wasn't because it's bad art necessarily. It got 399 likes though. John's Meme says maybe we should try Greece for our 8th year anniversary. Wait, what's wrong with this? Getting 77 likes. Scrolling down more and more. The Nate and Garrett Show says, do us a favor, the US should completely withdraw from all these globalist organizations and ignore them completely. G7, WHO, UN, WEF, etc. They have no sovereignty over us. Time to put America first. Getting 108. Speaking of 109 likes. Ooh, 112. Going up like Nvidia stock back in the day before it started to peter down a little bit. Because, yeah, I don't know any true Americans who are fans of those globalist organizations like the UN, WF, especially when they try to disarm populations and force things upon them. Neon Wolf says threatened. Trump never actually threatened Canada. Those who know and can speak with English language are very, very well aware that Trump is saying is in fact an exposure of how unfairly Canada treats the US, getting 220 likes. Yep. Let's see. Canadian girl. I'll follow her. Part of me just feels sympathy for her. She's stuck in Canada. When America's right there. Freedom's so close. And she chooses to live in Canada. I can't imagine that. Of all life decisions, geez Louise, choosing to live in Canada. Yeah, it's cold. That's on top of everything else as well. And she says, quote, the result of sellout Singh, which, I like a good wordplay or pun. That's good. It says, keeping Trudeau in power, increase grocery prices, increase food bank visits, increase carbon tax. Canadians struggling, increasing, getting 31 likes. 32, going up pretty quick. Drew Marie says he's a bigger moron than Trudeau and a greedy bastard too. He kept Trudeau in power to collect his 2.7 million pension. Canadians despise Jimmy Diwali, and he is banned from going to India because he's on their I can't pronounce this right. I'm going to try. Khalistani terrorist list? I might have got that right, maybe. I got 88 likes. Let's see. Mike Lee says, I can't wait to hear Trump's response to this, getting 2.1 thousand likes. John says, at least he wore the best Canadian turban to announce it. Dudley Do Right is not happy with Camper today. Getting 7 likes. But yeah, I don't know, it's kind of funny. When you think of Canadians, you always think of the Mounties. Like, why do they not? I thought they all wore those funny hats and look like Terrence and Phillip from South Park. So, Salty Goat says Trump will not be able to go to Canada. That'd be devastating. They've got us now. Getting 1.1 thousand likes, which, yeah. I imagine that being a threat. You can't go to Canada. You can't go to Canada, eh? It's like I don't see that. I don't see that as a threat. Again, Canada makes a lot of money. They benefit greatly from the U.S. Maybe we'll be able to benefit from them someday. And more, well, let me know. Do you think, what do you think the upside or downside would be of this situation? Do you think Trump's going to be worried about this? Can't think at the end of the day, probably going to be a better relationship with Canada, and maybe we'll actually get some good end of the deal. Maybe they'll buy some more manufacturing products from us, or some software, some services. You never know. Let me know your thoughts, though, guys. As always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, try to get to 5,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you can click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.